Hello and welcome to this video on fruit flies and brewing. Fruit flies and yeast share a weird relationship in brewing. The process of fermentation creates an inhospitable environment for yeast, and it needs to get out of the brew to live. If not, it will starve and die. This is where fruit flies come in. They act as a sort of rescue helicopter for the yeast by carrying it away to new locations. The yeast get the fruit fly to help by excreting volatile aromatic compounds that attract them. The two organisms are respectfully known as Drosophila melanogaster and S. cerevisiae for researchers. For most researchers, they are considered a model organism and are widely known. Studies have clearly demonstrated what their genomes consist of, how they behave, and what their life cycles are. In orchards and breweries, both are also well known. The fruit fly is a given member of the orchard insect population, whilst yeast is often seen as a pest. In contrast, yeast is a desired part of brewing, but fruit flies are a foreign contaminant. A useful application of beer and cider is as a trap for these pesky little creatures. You combine the alcoholic beverage and water to thin it out, then a small amount of oil or detergent. The flies are attracted to this mixture and touch the surface where they become trapped and drown. The combination of brew and detergent or oil should deter the fruit fly, but they still walk into the trap. The question is why they might do so. Fruit flies are drawn into the brew by aromatic compounds. These include the production of acetone, acetic acid, 3-methyl-1-butanol, and 2-phenylethanol by yeast. Compounds like acetate do not appear to have any direct benefit to the yeast, but they have still retained this in their genome. Research into it indicates that this seems to be a sort of evolutionary adaptation in the form of symbiosis. This stems from the benefits of feeding on yeast and the associated readily accessible saccharides. This is especially true in late summer and early autumn, when wild yeast flourish. Attraction and tolerance to ethanol are factors to yeast survivability and spread. A higher nutritional value of fruit inoculated with yeast over fruit alone is expected to favor sensory and physiological changes. These increase the likelihood that fruit flies can detect and locate both the fermenting fruit and the yeast that is there for when they lay their eggs. Inoculating fruit juice with yeast produces more female offspring, which in theory should lead to more fruit flies in general. This is a form of mutual coadaptation through evolution. Fruit flies have a preference for strains of yeast that promote faster and bigger growth. They create more colonies of these strains by selectively propagating them across more sites. This is supported by the yeast spore wall, which enables travel through the fly's digestive tract. The yeast itself uses several genes specifically responsible for aromas. This includes the ATF1, which produces a receptor in fruit flies. This particularly includes acetate esters. ATF1 alters the olfactory response. This occurs in the antennal lobe of fruit flies that feed on yeast cells, but not on those that do not. The reason for this video is that you can judge the quality and effectiveness of yeast by the fruit fly population it attracts. The more fruit flies attracted to the area you brew in, the better the quality of the yeast you are using. In theory, this should produce more aromatic brew. This can have a direct impact on the flavor if you are creating wild yeast sourdough. It can be an especially important way to start your brew. To summarize, the fruit fly larvae feed on the yeast. They grow quicker and better. The fruit fly spreads the yeast and creates more of their preferred sustenance. This leads to more fruit flies becoming attached to the yeast cell through genome modification. This in turn leads to fermentations that have a more pronounced smell and flavor. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions below.